be clear, right? Benin is not the first African country to grant citizenship to descendants of enslaved people. Ghana welcomed the diaspora during its year of return in 2019, and Sierra Leone has granted passports to African Americans and Caribbeans who could trace their roots through DNA. And several other countries have talked about reconciliation, return, and repair. So what makes Benin's move different is this. Benin wasn't just a victim of the slave trade. It was one of its most active players, its key engines. From the 1600s to the 1800s, the Kingdom of Dahomey, what we now call Benin, was a dominant force on the slave coast. European ships would dock along the shores, and Dahomean kings would sell captured Africans, often prisoners of war or kidnapped villagers, in exchange for weapons, textiles, and liquor. This wasn't passive. It was systemic. An estimated 1.5 to 2 million enslaved people were shipped out of the Bight of Benin. Ouidah, the town where Sierra walked the slave route, well, that was one of the busiest slave ports on the entire continent. And let's be honest, this is a painful truth to sit with, because we're not just talking about foreign invaders, we're talking about African complicity. We're talking about kingdoms who sold their own people in a continent that for generations couldn't bring itself to say, we played a part. But Benin did something different. In 1999, then President Matthew Kerekou issued a public apology, not just to the African diaspora, but to history itself. He acknowledged Benin's role in the slave trade. He asked for forgiveness, and in doing so, he opened the door to a long overdue conversation. That apology wasn't the end. It was the beginning. And now, 25 years later, Benin is going further, offering citizenship to the descendants of those it once sold. Not just words, but restoration. Not just sorrow, but real structure. That apology was symbolic, but this law is substantive. It's a recognition that history is not just something we remember, right? But that it is something we must repair. By offering citizenship to the descendants of those once sold through its ports, Benin is saying we can't undo the past, but we can build a different kind of future.